Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Quantum Football. Today, I'm going to bring you guys the mock draft right after the huge news about the 49ers trading up to number 3, the Dolphins going to number 6, and the Eagles going all the way back to 12. So, let's see how this shakes up. So, at number 1, I think we all know who's going here. It's Trevor Lawrence. Now, there's been another guy who's been getting number 1 conversation, but I think, for the most part, people are going to agree that Trevor Lawrence is number 1. At number 2, this guy showed out for his pro day, and he had some incredible throws that teams will take notice. And I think for a lot of people, he was already the number 2 pick in their minds, and that guy is Zach Wilson out of BYU. Now, the 49ers, after trading up to the number 3 spot, are 100% taking a quarterback. Jimmy G is not going to be in San Francisco anymore, meaning they are going to go for a rookie quarterback. Now, who could that be? Is that Justin Fields, Trey Lance? Justin Fields, if this were any other quarterback class, or any other class in general, I think he would definitely be like the number 1 pick, and I don't think it's very close. He's had number 1 conversation, throughout his college season, and I think he's much closer to these next 2 guys than people want to believe. So I have the 49ers taking Justin Fields there at number 3. And at number 4, people have been giving the Falcons, some talk about quarterback as well. But with them restructuring Matt Ryan's contract to give them a huge cap hit in 2022, they're kind of stuck with him for another 2 years, meaning that they probably shouldn't take a quarterback here and try instead to go all out and grab someone who will improve you this year. And I think the guy to do that is going to be Ja'Marr Chase. Now, I know they already have Julio and Ridley, but I do think that Ja'Marr Chase could take over that role as either the number 1 or the number 2 once Julio is gone. And I think those will pair up extremely well together. And Julio, in my opinion, is on one of his last legs. So Ja'Marr Chase at 4 is a great pick for the Falcons. And at number 5, I think, with Joe Burrow vouching for Ja'Marr Chase at number 5, I think here they're going to take the next guy up, and that for them is Penei Sewell. Just give another guy to protect Joe Burrow, maybe put him on right tackle, maybe put Jonah Williams at right tackle instead. I think more likely Penei Sewell will go on the right side. He could potentially play guard, but I doubt it. I think he plays one of the tackle spots for the Bengals. And at number 6, the Dolphins, while trading down 3 spots, they might have wanted Penei Sewell or Ja'Marr Chase, and unfortunately they don't get either of them here in this draft. So who do they go for instead? Well, you could go for someone like Kyle Pitts here. Perhaps maybe you could go for a guy like Rashawn Slater, who's another great offensive lineman that can plug in play for a guard spot on their team, which I think is very possible. I think you could play right guard or left guard for them. But here I am going to have the Miami Dolphins take a guy who can be a dynamic playmaker for him, and that guy is Kyle Pitts. Now, I know this is a bit crazy. They have Mike Gesicki. I get that. But he's more than just a tight end for them. I think he's going to give them that incredible versatility that he provides. After all, he is a versatile weapon. So, if you get what I'm saying, then you get what I'm saying. At number 7, the Lions are in an interesting spot. I think if they want, they could go potentially maybe a wide receiver here to help them out, since Kenny Golladay and Marvin Jones are both gone. But at the same time, I think there are some teams that would like to trade up for a quarterback here. So you could trade down here and maybe take a guy like, maybe Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, who might be there at 15. But I think here the Lions want a wide receiver, and I don't think they're going to get that at a spot like 15, trading down to the Patriots. I don't really see anyone else trading up. So I'm going to have Devontae Smith, the Heisman winner, going to the Lions here. And at number 8, I mean, the Panthers just sat here and waited, and none of the QBs besides the top 3 went. So, I mean, why not take a QB here? I think there's one here with an upside to, justify the pick here, and that guy is Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance probably has one of the highest upsides in this class. I think he has the potential to be someone like Lamar Jackson with a better arm. So I think he could end up being the guy for the Carolina Panthers. And worst case scenario, he just has to sit behind Teddy Bridgewater for a couple of years. But I think he could take over for him as soon as week 5. So it gives them that flexibility. I think the Panthers end up keeping Teddy Bridgewater. That was the whole reason why they kept him in the first place, is to bring a guy in to learn behind him. So Trey Lance just seems like a great fit for him. And at number 9, the Broncos here, they've had to deal with Drew Lock here for a while. And I think they're in the market for a quarterback. I don't think they want to keep Drew Lock around. So where do you go here if you're the Broncos? Do you want to go for Mac Jones in the first round, or do you want to try and grab another second-round quarterback, just like Drew Lock, and take another chance? I think you have to go Mac Jones here, and I don't think it's close. I think he's much better than people give him credit for. He had a better statistical season than even Joe Burrow had. So I don't know why there's not enough hype around this guy. He's very smart. He goes through his progressions extremely well, and I would not be surprised if he comes out, the second best quarterback, or maybe even the first best quarterback in this class. At number 10, the Dallas Cowboys probably need to go defense with all 7 picks this year. They are just completely dead at that position, and their offense is not too shabby, so they don't really need anyone, that could bolster their offense that's quite worth the pick here at number 10. So I'm going to have them take a corner here in Patrick Surtain. He had a pretty decent pro day showing that he could give you the speed, and that's his main concern right now. So, having settled that in his 40-yard dash, I think the Cowboys would be glad to take him at number 10. Now, at number 11, the Giants are basically, they're the type of team that's going to take O-line or D-line, basically no matter what. But I can see them going for a wide receiver as well, because Kenny Golladay plays really well behind a number 2 guy, just like Marvin Jones was for him. But at the same time, I think he can do it by himself, and I think that's what the team is ultimately going to trust him to do. So I'm going to have them take Rashawn Slater, give Daniel Jones a better offensive line, and hopefully in a couple of years, if he develops, then they can, be pretty damn good. And if worst comes to worst and Daniel Jones is not the quarterback that they so want, then, they can move on from him, and by that time, the O-line will be pretty damn good, since they're all pretty young at this point. And at number 12, the Philadelphia Eagles are basically, in my opinion, I think they're going to go cornerback or linebacker. I think that's the whole reason why they traded back in the first place. They want to let their wide receivers develop with Jalen Hurts. Despite them being awful last year, and they probably should take a wide receiver, I just don't think that's where the organization is at. So I'm going to have them take J.C. Horn. He had a fantastic pro day as well, and people, in my opinion, are sleeping on this guy. So if you take him at 12, I think he's going to do fantastic at the next level. He might even be the best cornerback that comes out of this class. Patrick Surtain just has the production to back it up, whereas J.C. Horn does not nearly have that, but I think he's way more athletic, and his traits translate a whole lot more. So, at number 13, the Chargers are another one of those teams that are pretty set for a position. I think they're probably going to go O-line as well, despite signing Corey Linsley and Matt Filer. I think they're still going to want to go for a tackle. So here I'm going to have them take Christian Darrisaw with the number 13 pick. And at number 14, the Minnesota Vikings have lots of issues along the defense. And I think this is another team like the Cowboys that could go all defense this year as well. I think a lot of these teams that have like one specific weakness are just going to, target that weakness in the draft. And I think they could also go offensive line here. And they could probably go that in like the second round and then go the rest defense. But right now, I don't think there's enough good offensive line here to justify taking an offensive lineman here. You might say Elijah Vera-Tucker is worth taking here, but I just think that he's not quite worth the value here at number 14. So I'm going to have the Minnesota Vikings take Micah Parsons. Do I want to take corner here and Caleb Farley? Could have them take an edge as well. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go edge here. I'm going to take Kwity Paye. And in my opinion, he's going to be the edge one. I think he's going to be drafted first as well. I think guys like Jalen Phillips have too many concerns, and Azeez Ojulari is not quite there yet, in my opinion. And Gregory Rousseau, while you might think he's, has the highest upside, I just don't think he's quite polished enough to want to take him as early as many people have him going. So I have Kwity Paye going here at 14. At number 15, Jaylen Waddle is still on the board, but I think the Patriots solved those issues in free agency. They don't really like drafting, or that's what it seems like now, is that they don't want to go in that direction in the draft. So here I'm going to have the Patriots go Micah Parsons. I think this is the furthest he probably falls is to 15. Since the Patriots address those wide receiver, tight end needs in free agency, I don't think they'll be going any other position besides linebacker unless they decide to trade up for a quarterback, which is also very possible. At number 16, Jaylen Waddle still on the board for the Cardinals. And I don't know if you can pass that up, to be honest. I think a wide receiver behind DeAndre Hopkins will be especially useful, especially for stretching the field. And I think Kyler Murray throws a pretty good deep ball. So Jaylen Waddle flying down the field and catching those deep balls is definitely something that the Cardinals would want. And I think he could definitely go here at 16 to the Cardinals. At number 17, I've had the Raiders basically reach in like all my mock drafts that I've done. I think I had them taking like Jalen Phillips last time in my other video. But I'm going to be generous to them here and take a guy that will immediately upgrade their secondary in Caleb Farley. He did have the back surgery, and I think that'll make him fall a little bit because the NFL hates injury-prone guys, and if they think this injury is, too bad to want to take a chance on him, then I think teams will end up passing. So that's why I have Caleb Farley going to the Raiders. And with the 18th pick, I think the Dolphins are in a spot where they're probably going to go either receiver or Kyle Pitts with a number 6 pick. Maybe they could go offensive lineman as well. But then here, I think they're going to take Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah if he's available. If not, I can see them going offensive line or something else like that. But since he is available here, I'm going to have him taking Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. He replaces Kyle Van Noy, and I think that's a big need for him. It doesn't look like they've addressed it too well so far, so getting a great linebacker in the draft just seems like a no-brainer. At number 19, the Washington football team they don't really have any huge needs now. They could upgrade the quarterback by trading up, but here I'm just not going to have any trades for now. I could do trades in another video. So what do I have the Washington football team doing? I think they could go maybe linebacker here, maybe offensive line. There's not any linebackers available here that would be worth the 19th pick. I think they could go maybe defensive tackle, but I think they're pretty good along the O line, the D line. So let's see, the tackles available. You could take Elijah Vera Tucker and place him at tackle. And to be honest, I kind of like this. Maybe you could go Rashad Bateman, but they already addressed wide receiver with Curtis Samuel in free agency. So I think I'm going to have them go offensive tackle here in Elijah Vera Tucker here at 19. At number 20, the Bears are in an interesting spot because they probably should go up and look for a quarterback as well. But at 20, I don't know if you can get good enough trade up to want. You probably can't trade up as far as you might want to get like a good quarterback. I think the top three go quarterback, and you'd probably have to trade up to like 7 in order to try and get him. So I don't know if the Lions even want to trade down there, especially to the number 20 spot. So I think the Bears are unfortunately stuck with Andy Dalton for now. So where do they go? I think they could easily go someone like, Greg Newsome, a corner to replace Kyle Fuller. But I think what's going to end up going on here is they're going to take pretty good value here in Christian Barmore. I think Akeem Hicks could eventually move on. Either he could get cut or he might get traded this offseason. And if he doesn't, this is not a bad pick by any means. You can develop behind Akeem Hicks and be their guy, that guy that can, bolster the defense, give that great leadership. He's just an absolute monster as well. So I could see him going like way earlier than this as well. At 21, the Colts, they're going to trade down probably, but of course without any trades in this mock, I think I'm going to have them taking an edge here. Probably the goal here is to put him besides DeForest Buckner, and unless there's some really good value here that I'm missing, I don't think so. Offensive linemen are not too good here. So I probably think they trade down in the actual draft, but here I'm going to have them take Azeez Ojulari. I mean, he probably has the highest floor out of any edge in this class, and he has a pretty high ceiling as well. So I think he can go pretty early as well, a lot earlier than people think. At 22, the Tennessee Titans are pretty much going to have to go wide receiver here, unless they somehow trade for one. I just don't think it would be worth it, especially with AJ Brown already. So I don't know if you can get a wide receiver 2 in free agency that will be worth it. Corey Davis is gone, so I think they're going to address it here with Rashad Bateman at number 22. At number 23, the Jets, I think they're pretty much set here to go an edge rusher at number 23, and I think they're pretty much set to go quarterback at number 2. The reason why is because Robert Salah loves his edge rushers. He developed Nick Bosa there with the 49ers, and I think there's a lot of valuable edge rushers here as well. So here I'm going to have Jalen Phillips going to the Jets, and the reason why is because I think without the injuries, he's probably the best edge in the class. But since he has those injury concerns, he's going to fall a little bit. So I have him going here to the Jets at 23. At 24, I mean, this guy has been mocked to the Steelers several times. And this guy is Tevin Jenkins. He just fits so well with the Steelers. He fits the mold of a Steeler. Just a big, strong guy that can give you great power in the run game and can pass protect really well as well. So Tevin Jenkins is a fine pick for the Steelers, in my opinion. And at 25, the Jaguars, I think, could go a multitude of ways. I think they could go edge rusher here. They might even take Christian Barmore if he's on the board. But I think safety is a huge need, and this guy just keeps just flying up draft boards. So I would not be surprised if he goes, maybe someone like the football team, or maybe like the Raiders at 17, and that's Trevon Moehrig out of TCU. Just an absolute dog. So there's not much else to be said about this guy. He's just fantastic. So at 26, the Browns, I think they're pretty set on going edge rusher to go opposite of Myles Garrett. I would not be surprised at all if that happened. Gregory Rousseau is still on the board, and I think despite me saying that, he's probably has the lowest floor and he's not quite ready yet, he's not quite as polished, I think he ends up going in the first round still. So Gregory Rousseau at 26 is pretty good value for a lot of people. But for me, this is probably where he should go. At 27, the Baltimore Ravens. I think they could go edge here as well. Matt Judon is gone, and Yannick Ngakoue is gone as well. So they're pretty strapped at the edge position, meaning they should probably take one in the draft or trade for one this offseason. But I just don't think that happens. I think all the good edge rushers are gone in free agency, meaning that they probably have to go edge rusher here. Meaning that Joseph Osai, he showed up at his pro day. He ran a 4.4 flat technically, but I think it's probably more like a 4.5, which is still amazing for an edge rusher, don't get me wrong. So yeah, I think the Ravens like speedy guys as well. So I think this goes well with the Ravens. At 28, I think here the Saints need a quarterback. Marshawn Lattimore looks like he's getting in a bit of trouble, and then they would basically have no good quarters left. So they'd probably have to take one in the draft here. So Greg Newsome at 28 makes a lot of sense for the Saints. At 29, the Green Bay Packers, I think they probably should take a wide receiver. The thing is, I don't know if that happens. The Packers are just set on screwing up Aaron Rodgers however they can. But I think there's enough value here to go wide receiver here. I think they're going to end up taking Kadarius Toney if he's sitting here at number 29. I think he's going to be an elite separator at the next level. He's going to be the type of guy that just gets open. And that kind of guy complements Devontae Adams a lot. So I think Kadarius Toney is a really good fit for the Packers. At number 30, the Bills are... in my opinion, there's only two positions they should go here. They should either address the edge position, or they should address the tackle position. And the reason why is because the reason why their run game was not so great in 2020 was because of the offensive line. I think the running backs will develop into way better players, meaning that they will probably be much better with a better offensive line. So, Jalen Mayfield looks pretty nice here at number 30. Who else could go here? I guess you could take Dylan Radunes as well. And I'm gonna have them take Jalen Mayfield. I think this is where he's probably gonna go. This is the range he goes, probably late first, early second. And I think the Bills would be much better off with an offensive lineman to help in the run game. And yeah. At number 31, the Chiefs probably need to go tackle as well. They let go of both of them in free agency, both their tackles that were out due to injury in the Super Bowl. So cutting them I think they need to go Dylan Radunes here at number 31 if he's available. And if there's not good value here, then you probably have to go for one in the second at least. So yeah, that's where I see the Chiefs going, is offensive line. They cannot afford to, let what happened to Mahomes in the Super Bowl happen all year long. So at number 22, the Bucs, they just feel like they have no needs. They signed everyone back. I don't get how they did it. They even signed Leonard Fournette now. It's crazy. So probably they take best player available. And who is that, you may ask? Well, it could be an edge rusher here. I think this guy, Carlos Basham Jr., fits well with them. I think he could probably play a defensive tackle for them instead and take over for Ndamukong Suh once he retires, and he can develop behind him as well. And I think that will, be especially good for the Bucs. So yeah, that is my mock draft. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this mock draft, and if you want to see more content like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell as well. And if you want to see more mock drafts, make sure to hit the like button. That will be very much appreciated. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.